If you search for the 10 most famous paintings in the world, you'll find the usual names: Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, Picasso, and so on. None of these famous paintings were made by women, which sadly isn't surprising. And if you search for the 10 most famous paintings by women, there's no clear agreement. The terms most famous and in the world are left out because, in fact, you might not have seen these paintings before. So, in a way, we could say there isn't a top 10 list of famous paintings by women. However, the Australian blog Superprof has made an interesting selection of paintings, so let's take a look. And while you check their list, think about what your top 10 would be. First up is one of our favourites, the Italian artist Artemisia Gentileschi and her powerful painting Judith Beheading Holofernes from 1620. This religious theme was common in those days, but this version is particularly graphic. Even today, we're not used to seeing such imagery, and Artemisia showcases her skill in capturing dramatic tension and emotion in these paintings. There's definitely an interesting backstory about Artemisia, and I'll link our video about her in the description box. The next lady is another we've covered before, and it's the Self-Portrait in a Straw Hat by Elizabeth Louise Vigée-Lebrun from 1782. She was Queen Marie Antoinette's favourite portrait painter, which eventually became dangerous for Elizabeth, and she had to flee France for many years. But this painting is a self-portrait of Elizabeth, and it was considered very innovative and modern for its time, mainly because of its natural simplicity. Her artist's tools are also depicted, boldly stating, "I am a professional painter." This is The Horse Fair by the French painter Rosa Bonheur, created around 1852. Rosa specialised in depicting animals, and her meticulous attention to detail and realism is evident in this painting. She spent a year and a half sketching at the Paris horse market twice a week, often dressing as a man to avoid attracting attention. This painting is also quite massive, measuring about 5 metres or 200 inches wide. It made a huge impact on viewers and the art world, propelling Rosa to international fame. Next is American artist Mary Cassatt's In the Loge. Critics at the time praised the piece, claiming it was even more masterful than any man's work, which was an immense compliment in that era. In the Loge explores the act of looking. A man in the distance on the right watches the woman in black, who is focused on another spectator through her opera glasses. Art historians see the painting as a commentary on gender roles, observation, and power within the social spaces of the 19th century. Swedish artist Hilma Claes' The Swan No. 17, from around 1914, shows the blending of opposing forces. Each painting explores similar themes, such as light and dark, male and female, and life and death. Hilma requested that her work remain secret for at least 20 years after her death in 1944, because she felt the world wasn't ready for it. It wasn't until 1986 that Hilma gained international recognition and is now seen as a sensation. She was found to be ahead of other abstract artists of her time and is regarded as an artistic genius. It's a very interesting story that we've covered. You can find the link in the description box and at the end of this video. Next is The Mothers by Käthe Kollwitz from 1922. Käthe created The Mothers as part of her response to the devastation of World War I. The Mothers shows a group of women closely huddled together, creating a strong protective wall around a baby held by one of them and 2 children peeking out from behind their skirts. While it suggests that mothers will unite to stop their children from going to future wars, the women seem worried and on guard. The woodcut highlights the pain and sacrifice of German mothers who sent their sons to war for their country's honour, now fearing that they might lose the next generation to future wars. Canadian Emily Carr's The Indian Church is from 1929. However, since 2018, the painting is renamed Church at Yuquot Village. The new title recognises the Indigenous community that lived where the church was on the west coast of Canada. Although the word Indian is old-fashioned and often seen as offensive today, it was commonly used when Emily finished and named the painting. Her works showed the deep sadness and loss felt by Indigenous people as they were forced to leave their homes and cultures. The ideas of belonging and being displaced in a world after colonization were strong in her art. Emily used her art to encourage others to notice and care about these problems. Then we have Clarice Beckett's The Yarra Sunset from about 1930. She loved painting outdoors and often got up at 4 o'clock in the morning to catch the changing light and mood of the early morning. Clarice used soft colours to show the dreamy look of twilight in her work, often painting Melbourne landscapes in gentle, glowing shades. Many of her paintings show her skill in capturing brief moments of natural beauty and peaceful city scenes. The Yarra Sunset provides a glimpse into the Australian landscape and lifestyle during the early 20th century. Grace Cossington-Smith, The Window, from 1956, is another Australian artist, and this is one of her biggest pointillist interior artworks. Pointillist is a style of painting where the artist uses lots of small dots or tiny strokes of colour, rather than blending colours together. This uniquely Australian painting shows a central doorway leading out to a tall gum tree and local plants, with warm colours in the foreground showing the artist's surroundings. Then, last but not least, the renowned Australian Aboriginal artists Emily Kamam and her painting Big Yam Dreaming from 1995. This painting is massive, 8 by 3 metres or about 26 feet by 10 feet. The white lines dancing over the black background are inspired by many things, like women's body paint and the roots of the pencil yam growing under the ground. These abstract artworks don't have just one meaning. Instead, they aim to show the deep connections between people, plants and places in Aboriginal societies. So what are your top 10 most famous paintings by women in the world? Since there isn't a clear consensus in the art world, at least not yet, we have the chance to create that list ourselves. Let's see this as an opportunity to shape the female art scene the way we'd like to see it. Share your top 10 in the comments, whether they are historic or contemporary, famous women artists or your best friend. We'll definitely consider making a video about your list. And if you want to back other women artists, then we welcome you to join our mission to make mikonoart an educational platform for girls, women, and anyone interested in women in the arts, so we can all comfortably answer the simple question: can you name 5 women artists? You're supporting our mission by subscribing, liking, commenting, and sharing our channel and videos. Or just give us an emoji in the comments. It'll help us a lot and encourage us to create more videos. Until next time, keep exploring the wonders of the artistic world.